Made me look
walks
at you.
around on the battlefield giving people the side eye.
Just glug glug the G orc.
I'm just saying, Glance of Redemption seems to have more possibilities than Glimpse of, was it Glimpse? What's the actual proper
Well,
name
I
for
do
it?
shame people a lot whenever I use it. I mean, it's my go-to voice.
I like that, Glance of Redemption. Look, you're checking up on somebody. Well, you're doing the two-finger point at your own eyes, and then at them. Yeah, I guess no, that's really not a glance, as per se.
Yeah, I roll my eyes at you.
My coach.
I try.
Still get the reaction to nerf the DM's damage, but I blame myself.
Oh man, rebuild Glug Glug into a female Valley Girl orc version.
It's just over it all and it speaks Valley. Oh my God, gag me with a spoon.
Okay, so pausing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Pathfinder's second revised edition. Well, okay, we're allowing the players to use revised editions. I am trying to use the revised edition rules, and we're trying to use, the monsters of, but Age of Ashes does have a hard-baked legacy monster rule system NPC in it. Still halfway there. And the more we play the revised rules, how are we liking them so far, guys?
Yeah, they're okay. I don't mind them. I certainly got a buff, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I think it's usually an upgrade.
Yeah, definitely cleaned up the focus spell system. So from my perspective, since that's where I have my spells coming from, that definitely smoothed that out. Made a lot more sense.
Yeah. What do you think, Mr. Gibson?
It's, like everything, it's, take the good with the bad.
Take
More
the good with the
than
bad?
Yep.
Oh, okay. What's the bad?
For some of the class abilities, some got changed for the good, others got changed for the worse, in my opinion. But
You got. I'm sure you're not going to start getting any hate mail. That's joegibson@gmail.com. Was there anything? Did you find anything that was a slap in the face? Like, why would they do that to the druid or something like that? Or
The terminology changes.
that yeah.
They had no
was just
choice there,
annoying.
man.
Yeah, I know. that part's annoying. But it's more until they redo the cleric. The cleric got a big slap. So
I thought the cleric got better. I heard there was automatic free heals and extra heals, and
we already had that.
I thought they were even more on top.
No, it's less. So,
Okay. I've got other clerics. I'm seeing other clerics behind your back, Joe. I'm just saying that they seem very happy.
yeah, but it's changed the ability scores, right? So instead of a cleric being two key abilities, now it's just one. Charisma has nothing to do anymore with the cleric. So that kind of makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it used to be your channeling was a little bit buffed and out of your force of personality from your charisma, and wisdom was your spells going, I need more spells. Yeah, I get it. Interesting. Now, not to pin this on Joe, but going back several years when it was that bright, sunny August drop of the first Legacy rules, and I'm like, I will read the adventure. Joe, you read the actual book. And he's like, but you're the GM. I'm like, Joe, I will read the adventure. Can I play? No. You're just a rules lawyer. You'll do cameos. I got too many players, and I'm going to go live for the first time. Like I wouldn't say it was a train wreck, but it was a lot to take on. But those of you that have stayed with us, and we've even noticed our numbers for downloads for this show have doubled in the past 2 months. I don't know if that's just because we've kindly in spring swung around back to the new season and people are going, oh crap, new season, and they're digging in or that type of thing. But actually I shouldn't say that, because having a look at the actual numbers, I still see episode 1, ding, latest episode, ding, episode 2, ding, latest last episode, and it's a nice mix of new people coming in and other people hanging on. And we appreciate every listener we have, even if you only like one show. If this is your show and you couldn't be bothered listening to other stuff, we have no problem with that. We're just happy you're here enjoying our show. I will admit that we have had some streaming problems, and that's not just because recently that I've asked the patrons going, hey, guess what, would you like early access to get this stuff like a week in advance of everybody else, where a live stream you might kind of technically get it months in advance. But I must say, like, the live stream is great. It's a very raw theater experience, but we put more work into the final product. There's been episodes where I've completely ripped out and changed all the ambient music because I didn't think it fit, or added sound effects, or just edited things that didn't suit, that type of thing. A little bit more spit and polish for the patrons and for you yourself. This release on the 5th and 15th and 25th of every month. I do 3 episodes, per. And you guys are in book 4, chapter 2, or approaching chapter 2 rapidly. And now
How
you've got
many
a prison.
books, Jeff?
6.
6. Ooh, I didn't realize we were that close. Yay.
Yeah. You're thinking other campaigns that have 10 books, or other campaigns. Actually, a lot of APs now are coming out. They're only 3 books, level 1 to 10. That's it, or level 10 to 20. Speaking of, not to tangent too long here, but I found an adventure from Paizo that I think we could do that I don't think anyone will touch. You're a 10th level character, right? So they've assumed that you've played one of the 1 to 3 books, okay? You're in Cheliax. They're really big on divas and theater and drama and opera. Huge in Cheliax. And somebody wants to produce and write your adventure story from levels 1 to 10 and make a play. And you're like the J.K. Rowling sitting in on the Harry Potter movies after you wrote the books. Now, obviously, there's going to be drama. There's going to be people trying to get killed and everything. But it's like, what a cool idea that you play, we could play through an adventure. And that, we could, you guys are 10th level. We could stop right here. You can go off to Cheliax. And, you just go south. You're right above it. Just saying, if you're not feeling the whole triad thing, you want to go to Cheliax and write a play, we could split the campaign right here. Just saying. That'd be funny. Half you guys go off. We're going to tell our story and you're not in it. Anyway, getting back to the matter at hand, guys, you are at Sunset Imports.
Yep.
And at Sunset Imports, you guys found that the owner proprietor, middle-aged, haughty noblewoman, kind of made some bad business decisions and got in with the triad and had no idea what she was getting way in and over her head, and now they were using this place like a safe house to run slaves. And you tied her up to make it look like she was innocent. You guys invade, and you find, unfortunately, some of the merchandise in this warehouse happened to be a golem.
Yep.
But we took it down.
Yeah, we did.
Yep. And apologies, because we ran a golem. We had no problem with that fight. We ran a second golem, and we got bogged down in some rules about moving this and doing that and stuff. But, I've sent a letter off to Fantasy Grounds or sponsors going, hey, I'm all for compacting space and info from the original adventure, or from a monster manual in this, but a GM will take that verbatim and the wording. And if you don't take those times to expand in that, you cut. Anyway, Most GMs go, rule of cool. but not us. We lean hard into the rules as written. And sometimes you guys let me interpret the rules my way, as if I'm the guy behind the screens. Thanks for that. Anyway, you guys have a prisoner. Goes by the name of Lurb. Not that he has a name. Triads give out name tags, but actually, I guess he's got a union card. Triad unions at Lurb, so and so. Search, pat him down, and when you pat him down, you guys also were talking about searching the rest of the warehouse, possibly finding bodies in crates. And I think this was a bit of a discussion that bled when we weren't recording. You guys we were worried that we're like prisoners in a box. So while you guys we have our little halfling trained bow, Karam, the investigator, on our prisoner, and you guys watched him. We still have, Murrus gone off and searched the place and assures us with his scent ability and everything that there's no other people here hiding in a box or dead or, under the floorboards hiding. And, but he does come back with an iron medallion and 2 rune stones that he can't make heads or tails of. You guys want to get some spellcrafting going? Sorry, arcane checks and religion checks, primal checks, nature, and occult checks in the tower, if you please. You guys want to sniff these over?
Yep.
And before we wake up and lean into the questioning, or you can do that while you guys are doing your checks, was there anything I missed? Was there anything else?
What I would like to do is check the door to the north, since we sort of went straight into an interrogation and didn't check all of the exits to the rooms and things like that. So I just want to do a safety check on that and kind of make sure we don't have check our back sides and all that sort of thing.
Okay, so zooming out in the map here, Glug, you step into a very narrow hallway. Now there's shelves for items that crowd this hallway, so it's kind of like Amazon
Barter.
sorting, right? Like they'll use the main warehouse to open goods, and then maybe they'll label them and select them here so that someone could run along this hallway with a cart and grab a bunch of stuff and put together an order.
Looks like a waiter's hallway, kind of,
Yes.
in a fancy house.
10, 20, 30, 40 feet to your right, there's actually 3 doors, not just one that you saw coming into this room from the other room with the girl. And a good 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 beyond dark vision.
I don't need to take up, I don't want to create a new incident, but I also want to take my time checking this out and holler if I find something. And if you want to focus back on the other stuff, that's cool too. I don't want to.
Oh, okay. The halls are lined with shelves crammed with old ledgers, rolled rugs, urns, stacks of wooden boxes, and shelves reach nearly to the ceiling, 25 feet overhead. It literally is like a storage backroom, a warehouse backroom kind of thing, right? So there's a lot to look at. Can I have perception in the tower, Glug?
Sure.
Okay. And let me come back to you on that, because this is quite, like I said, quite a space to fill. I'm assuming you're not going to open any doors, but you want to do a security check, so you're listening at them, right? So maybe give me a couple of perceptions, and we'll work with the guys, and I'll come back and kind of give you that info dump of, what you've been doing for the odd 10, 20 minutes.
Probably.
And now, 10 minutes go by, ding, you get your focus back, or do you need to be actively at rest?
I don't have to be sitting and meditating. I need to be doing something that is along my path. And normally, to me, guarding and checking our rear and kind of, if I'm not in a fight,
Okay.
I can be,
Okay. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if paranoid security focused plus searching things was considered downtime for your brain, But if a champion can do something, shall we say, towards the holy ends and that activity, yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay. I'll come back to you with focus points and more information, Glug, because there are some interesting things here, assuming you can receive them.
And if I survive.
And if you survive, the books all fall on him. We forget, we just leave him buried in the hallway.
Didn't we have an orc?
Didn't we? Yeah, are we forgetting something? I'm not going to remind them you're here.
All good.
Oh, nerfer of my damage. I mean, of the most damage. Anyway, getting back to the matter at hand. Do you guys want to do spellcraft first, or shall we have possibly Karam and our new friend, Hundi Vosht, the red-headed, mutton-chopped, He looks like a halfling version of like some little Irish dude who says, his family were cops, his grandfather were a cop in Boston. Like that, he's got that kind of face. It's the best way I can, politely stereotype this dude. And he's very nervous and he's very upset and he's very worried, as we mentioned the last episode, that he might have, tipped off the bad guys. He's talking about Desna, the goddess, help me. But I've told them everything. I've wrecked the Bellflower network. He says they're going to go after my friends. They're doomed. They're all doomed. How horrific. How unthinkable of me. Please, save my friends from my betrayal. Their blood will be on my hands. Where are you all going? Everyone starts searching and looting bodies. And wait, no, this is a pressing matter. You, brother, goes up to the halfling, right? Wait a minute.
What do you mean you've sold out the Bellflower network? It's a pretty strong organization.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. He tries a passcode with you for like a Bellflower network to, identify. He says, have you ever done any gardening in the shrubs and short trees? Nudge, big wink. He must be new. The dude folded like right.
Want to blow your cover?
Yeah, exactly.
Blabbermouth.
I believe there was some point where Karam had talked about a personal interest in the Triad because of an organization he was tied to, but you really didn't get too much into it in depth, or did you literally name them? I can't remember. I think you did. There was a hint, no?
Gosh, did I actually say Bellflower Network to them?
To be fair,
I know
we weren't listening anyway.
Yeah.
It was probably during our first meeting when you guys were just toasted.
Yeah, the flying cleric torture dude and his little snipers, and then he got away almost and all this stuff, and you were like, why are you here, friend? And he's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think we basically said everything except the word Bellflower.
Okay. So, society checks loosely in the Tower Boys. If anyone's heard of whatever society he's talking about and who his friends are and what this is.
Loose
What's
society check in the tower. Oh, and I rolled some arcanas to identify those.
Yeah, I'll get back to
items.
that.
Okay.
I kind of leaned in on the interview all of a sudden, so I just
Let's go with it. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. Are you guys interested in shaking Lund awake? We've got Niles and Karam kind of guarding Lund. We've got Niles and Elbrick, checking the items. You've got Murals searching the warehouse abroad. You got Glug Glug doing a perimeter security check. Let's talk about toys. It's always a good way to open up an episode. 1, 2. Oh, wow. You guys are rolling pretty good tonight. An iron medallion, which is a magical talisman. It's consumable. It has abjuration, consumable magical talisman. It's worth 175 gold, which means you guys could sell it for 75-ish. You affix it to your armor, and as a free action, you envision wanting to use it. And you can attempt a will save against a fear effect that you haven't rolled yet. This small medallion is shaped like a shield. When you activate it, you get a +2 status bonus to saves against fear for 1 minute. On the triggering save, if the outcome of your roll is a failure, you get a success instead of the outcome. If it's a critical failure, you get a failure instead.
Well, that's pretty sick.
So, on a triggering save, I'm wondering if that means like you could go, hey, you know what? This is going to be scary. I want my +2 for a minute. Because it talks about haven't rolled yet. Well, we'll worry about that more later. Anyway.
I think you just have to declare that you're using it before you roll the dice. I think that's what that means.
So, casters have high willpowers to start. GM's recommendation would be someone with low willpower, or just does anyone think it's cool and wants to put up their hand for it?
I would say give it to the champion.
Mr. 15 willpower? It's not
That is
good
my
enough.
weakest. That is my weakness.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just having a peek at you guys. It's like Niles 21.
Oh, Niles is quite willful.
17. Yeah.
This dude's like still 4 higher than me.
Well, there is that the whole pin it on your armor. Not everybody's not not everyone's rocking the. Okay.
Yeah, I would say it goes to the champion. That's a good person to give it to.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed?
We.
I
Okay. Next up, we have a rune stone. It's a +2 weapon potency rune. So when you it is consumable, right? Now they talk. This is what made me start thinking about the old rules versus the new rules. Could you not use magic to transfer runes from weapon to weapon?
You can still do it, but it takes. You need to be trained, and you have to be a massive crafter.
So I'm
Just
taking,
like I am, bitches.
So I'm taking that consumable means like it's like a wet tattoo kind of thing. Like it's there, you don't easily move it again without. It is consumed when. Yeah, go ahead.
Once you use a rune stone, it is the enchantment is gone. It becomes a blank rune stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you can spend the money and time again to transfer it back onto the runestone. Do it again.
Cool. Worth 938 gold.
I think I can transfer it onto a weapon.
Yep.
Okay,
or
well,
you can-
it has an official thing here. Watch this.
Or you can
So-
use it as a consumable.
Yeah,
Well,
don't do
it
that.
says the flat piece of hard stone is specifically prepared for etching a magic fundamental rune or property rune. You can etch only one rune upon the stone. Once the stone is etched, it gains the magic school trait of the rune etched upon it. When the rune is transferred from the rune stone to another object, the rune stone cracks and is destroyed.
Oh, my bad.
So no, not bad. This is the new twist.
Yeah. Now
And,
that
you know.
said, I can transfer a rune from a weapon. So once it's been inscribed, I can pass it
Right.
along, which is just expensive.
So, but you could buy. It talks about ready for etching. You need to go buy a new runestone or make one.
I can go weapon to weapon.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still expensive though. Like it's not.
Hmm.
You're basically like they don't really like crafting in this system. I haven't really looked at it too much since they've done the revise, but I'm assuming
Okay.
it's the same. It doesn't really save you much money unless you invest all your downtime into it.
It does say here that this 938 gold, the price listed is for an empty stone ready to go. A stone holding a rune adds to the price of the rune stone. But
Yeah,
still,
by the value of it.
very, very
But
cool. So,
+2 potency is big. That's big.
okay.
Huge.
So I'm going to put this in All's until you
Yeah,
guys can have
gimme,
time
gimme,
and money
gimme.
to but it could end up on somebody else's weapon.
Yeah, but I have to
You
do the
know.
work.
Right.
All right, what's the other
Okay.
one? Come on, more.
Last
Give me
last but not least, we have a consumable rune stone, 633 held in one hand. Flat piece, blah blah blah. The Greater Shadow rune
Ooh, what is that?
for armor. So have shadow armor. There's like lesser and greater. So
Yep,
not as
that
only
would-
right. Yeah. So if you type in like
great for green.
yeah. For green guy? Who's green guy?
Or
Low
Dublin,
brick.
who's not here anymore.
Oh. One's raising his hand and Joe's saying that character's not here anymore, so used.
Well, I'm also green, but we were talking about
I said little
the
green.
goblin.
Oh.
Well,
You're back
you
up
can tell
there.
It's,
Three.
yeah, so it's a bonus.
It's
to
a
stealth.
term of endearment to me. I get it.
It is a bonus to stealth.
Yeah. But keep in mind, like, oh, cool, I could hide with this, but if it's not your character to like not hit things head on, it is a kind of a waste. Anyway, we'll put these in L, or like I said, the endless Muros bag holding, right? And then back to Karam, keeping a trained eye on Lurb. So here's the conundrum, Karam. Do you question this guy directly and possibly hint that you have knowledge of the Bellflower Network? Or are you going to let your new companions do it and just...
I will poke at him to see if he actually knows what he thinks he says he knows. Maybe
Okay.
I don't exactly trust that he's in the Bellflower Network.
Okay. There are rules for making an impression, intimidating, coercing. Most people use intimidate in combat. We don't think we've really had the proverbial prisoner where you use the old intimidation check to tell us what we want to know. For 1d6 rounds they do. So getting into the a little bit, let's flip up some archives of Nethys. You guys make a diplomacy check, I believe, and try to lean on this guy and get him to talk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, diplomacy, make an impression, gather information.
No, if you need me to come into the room to give him intimidating glare, and then
I am trained in intimidation.
Good.
And I also have the stink eye as well.
Sorry, right. There is straight up intimidation.
Yep. So
okay.
And I don't even have to talk. I can just give him the stink eye because I have the intimidating glare.
Okay. Oh well, what? Karam's trying an approach with diplomacy. So you guys want to see if you can't just bargain with this dude first, or you want to we don't want to confuse the target.
I can also aid. I can also aid with that as well.
Okay, so give me an aid in the tower. Okay. Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
I have looked over this, but we hardly get to hear your lovely rules lawyer voice anymore. Have you got Archives and Nethys up and running?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So,
You having trouble with connection?
yeah, but just let me use my tablet.
Okay. Okay, so while we're looking into this, and I'm pulling up myself, and this is one of the reasons why I use rules lawyers. I would have to pause a recording. We usually play live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with another player. So let's go back to Glug-Glug's hallway searching. Right? And...
Eureka!
Yeah.
I found all the gold, guys.
Where are we here? I got to go way back up the list here. There's
Found a rune of potency +3.
That's a deception roll. I don't think they're going to buy it. I know. I'm not buying it. Oh, you don't seem to find anything that interesting. Lots of books, lots of confusion. 25 feet tall.
My main objective is security, so I would, if Neuros isn't busy, maybe have him come in behind me to do the thing, but I'm really wanting to check the doors. I will open the doors if I don't hear anything. If I hear anything happening, I'd probably get back up before I opened a door.
Sure. At the very end of the hallway, you have a door that leads back into the room that we entered. You have an exit, and it's not a door, it's a window. So you have a window to the exterior, right to you on the north wall. There's a window on the other side of the door you came in, and there's a window at the other end. So these top row of doors are technically windows to let in light, and you can see outside. And again, you're checking the windows. No one's sneaking under them. You look around, you don't see anything much going on out there. The door you came in is halfway, or about a third of the left side of the hallway. All the way down the far end, you're peeking right back into the warehouse at the far end, almost on top of where we found our prisoner. But there is dead space. There's a single door I have you at now where the walls don't line up, where you would notice that there was a crux in a wall, 15 by 15, an inset into the warehouse, and, pacing off your steps, I'll at least give you that much for your perception roll, is a door, and it's most likely an office or something. And, by this time we'll have Miros caught up to you. One eye, I've got him at the door here, so he can keep an eye on them and keep an eye on you, but he's ready to spring into action. I wouldn't expect him to frog up. This is a pretty narrow hallway.
No. And I'm going to give him hand signals that we know very poorly, probably with each other. That's more.
Oh, no. He gets very excited just that his hand signals means completely different things than yours.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm giving the hand signal. And what I think I'm saying is, I'm going to open this door. You watch, I'm doing the whole thing with the eyes. No idea what he thinks I said. but I'm sure
I
he
found no
nods.
kegs to open yet, lad, but I'll look again. Wait, no, you don't want me to leave. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I just read something really cool. Sorry to totally steal your thunder.
No, before he opens this door, that would be the time to interrupt.
Mind.
If it was
okay, so I can take these runes and I can
Yeah.
reverse engineer them, giving me their formula. And then so I can learn from these runes and then etch everybody's weapons with the +2 potency.
as long as you have the crafting money and time and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so a filled etched rune.
Is big. Give it to me. Just give them to me.
So we're gonna set up shop here in this warehouse.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, you're gonna. Well, technically, the triad might return, right? But again, he's still wringing his hands, saying, adventures
Well,
continue.
we
must
probably
get
need
there."
a steady source of money. So as long as they come in little like groups of like 3 or 4, that wouldn't be too bad.
You imagine just camping out here, and I got to make up encounters. Meanwhile, the world is turning, and the triad's winning on the outside. I don't think this is what we had in mind for the.
Every day or two. They
Oh
send
man,
3 or 4
I've
people
invested so
over.
much into crafting on this character and never
Funny.
used it. And I just found why it's worthwhile doing it with the on the rune page. I'm reading through it. I'm just like, oh my god. We're gonna be
Downtime
so
is not
bad.
something we've had. Downtime is not something we've had a lot.
But
You
we need a
probably-
lot of money, guys.
No, there's got to be somewhere at the end of book 4 or something where you return to the castle, because they always want you to kind of go back, spend some money, and build. Right? Stay. Like unless you have some kind of like, oh shit, we got a week to get to the next portal because the triad's there. You know what I mean? Like you guys could stick around and Alll could craft in his little lab or what, or build a lab.
Time wise, like I can copy the rune into my formula book in an hour. Okay.
How long does it take if we had like money and gold for you to do that to my javelin?
To put it on, the money is going to be the issue. I mean, it's.
I will say there's the 20-minute search, which I'm still kind of in the 10 to 20ish minute mark. But
Yep.
if you guys sit here for an hour, the halfling's convinced that all is lost and his friends are dead, and you guys are going to show up and find a whole bunch of womp womp.
I mean,
Anyway.
I think Karen will probably be like, okay, guys, there's some urgency here.
No, he wants a +2 rune. Get working, dude. Let's go. He's right beside you.
You never did quite tell us how long it was going to take. So
But I mean,
You know.
like, I
it
think,
takes a day. Well, I think we need to stay here for a day.
well, I think it's an hour.
Okay, just so we're clear, Ryan's not here tonight, but Drew's right there while Matt and I both take both sides of the coin, speaking for him and his character, okay. So we're clear there. Let's open this door, Glug Glug, before anything else weird happens. This office, 15 by 15, is appointed with an intricate rug and rugs and wall hangings. A wooden desk and chair sit to the southwest.
I will enter the room and search the room, and I'll separately give special attention to the desk, but I want to search the room first.
Okay.
So
Give me
there's
a
perception
tower.
of the tower.
Okay. And I don't think they've changed this one. I don't see the reason with focusing, but they usually have something like spend, good 20 minutes in a room, and then, then they get a roll, if any, right? But that would technically put us at 40 minutes. That being said, we can get away to be nice saying that Muros has run off, searched the warehouse while you were doing the whatever. And anyway, the desk contains business papers that outline Sunset Import's recent decline. Only record of Sundry's business with Scarlet Triad is an initial business introduction from someone named Yuri Zandivar in Katapesh.
Can
This
you
introduction
drop
bears
those words in chat.
Yeah. This introduction bears a seal of formal approval from the Packmasters of Katapesh, showing that Yuri is held in high regard in that distant city. For a moment, because now I'm going to ask for another society check, one from Glug Glug. Let's go back to our society checks when somebody dropped the Bellflower Network. Vicar Niles.
Yes.
Do you Joe, do you know what the Bellflower Network is? Because you got a really astounding critical role. So anything you know, Niles knows.
Oh, okay. So it is technically like a spy network, but it's not a spy network.
Is this something you would want to share, knowing the sensitivity of people that are in the room? Looks like,
Yeah, well, yeah, because they deal with freedom of slaves and everything, oppression, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
all that lovely stuff.
So you can talk.
I cannot. Yeah, I can't remember where they're based out of, but
Here in Revendell. They originate in Cheliax while this was still part of Cheliax, and a lot of it migrated north here. And it literally is an underground railroad for halfling slaves and other slaves falling under the rule of Cheliax, and try to get them out. And if anything, get them up here now that's more like a free state, or into Nadal or that type of thing. And this information, Niles, if you wish to share, can be broadly broadcast from this is this new friend's link to the Triad. I don't think you're going to blow Karam's cover by talking about, little guy is talking about a network that goes up against our prisoners. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't think there's any danger there. I withdraw my caution to you. Next we have Glug Glug Society. The Packmasters. Katapesh, as you guys already know, is the sort of Galorian's version of an Arabic nation, where next to it is Osirian, sort of an Egyptian nation, where you have Quadria next to Taldar, which is sort of a Persian nation. And merchant trade through this Arabian nation is where Katapesh. You have all kinds of deals, and the Packmasters, Glug Glug,
look a lot like the people who the aquatic people that made the clones in the game that shall not be named. Very tall and skinny. 7 feet tall and covered in layered robes, hide bodies that seem unnaturally thin. Rumors around that one would be driven mad to look upon a Packmaster's face. Despite their great height, their form of speech are clearly humanoid. I don't know. What year is it? What is the year for us where we are?
2025. Damn, bro.
I know. Well, I know, but I've been living in this particular.
It's
been living in
like 4725 AR or four. I can't remember the second digit, but it's four something 25.
Well, the Packmasters have been active for hundreds of years.
But a Star Wars alien is a really good description from this picture I'm looking at here.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that? What's that race name that I can't think of? The fish people that made the. Anyway,
who made the clone?
Breaks the rule of Joe. Joe is giving me dirty looks from behind the camera over there, as he should. No, come on. This is Pathfinder's fault. I mean, they completely rip off an alien that looks like another alien, and everybody knows sort of loose Star Wars canon at this point. So they maintain a network of spies, informants, and scrying devices that report events that may upset business.
It looks like dude's wearing a mask.
He is wearing a mask because you can't look upon them lest you be driven mad.
Okay, so it does say that they are an actual alien race, like they're not human. They've been around 100 years, right? Okay. Cool.
The Pesh trade brings in a lot of gold to the city. The Packmasters are keenly interested in any incidents that may disrupt the harvesting and trade of the drug.
Yeah, the spice must flow. Damn it! I swear they got to Katapesh and somebody's watching. Yeah, just yep.
Jinx.
That's yep. All right. So this is all rambling through your head there, Glug Glug, while you're reading this book. I'm assuming you want to score this book.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll bring it back to the party once I've finished my looking around.
Once you're done looking around the city, looking around.
And if it's been 40 minutes, then I'm going to get some of my force focus spells back and lay hands on myself. Is anybody else down hit points?
Nothing. I need healing.
There you go. Anybody want to cut and paste that into our party notes? Yuri Zandivar. Introduction letter. Now, he may not be here. He might be in Katapesh. Right? It just... Glug Glug's repeating what I put in the chat like he's saying it to himself. Yuri Zandivar is Katapesh. Yuri... just
If I repeat it 3 times, I'll remember it and everybody will know.
Oh, yeah. Yuri, that guy owes me money. Okay. Diplomacy seems to outright fail. I don't know if we're going to try a good cop, bad cop situation, but diplomacy, is as well as you've done, seems to outright fail on this guy.
He's just traumatized. It's not that I'm not charismatic.
Or he's well trained, right?
No, they broke him. Supposedly.
There is always that where, they won't talk about certain things because they're more afraid of what the triad will do to them or their family or their toenails than whatever you'll do, including just a quick death. What?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
We don't talk about the triad. First rule about the triad is we don't talk about the triad. Damn it! I talked about it. It's very nervously around at you guys.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to coax him into if you want help, we need a little bit more information on how to help your friends and things. If you're not willing to divulge any information, I don't know.
I thought you were leaning. I thought you were leaning on Lerb, the prisoner, not diplomatizing Hundy, who's been talking about his friends in peril. And I draw you a map right there. I'll take you right there, right now. Why is no one listening to me?
Oh yeah, I was going for Hundy to see if he was part of the Bellflower Network and trying to help him. If he is.
All right. So he might be a spy. I mean, isn't it convenient that he's alive? He's not already sold into slavery. And as soon as you guys beat down the guys, this guy just pops up going, "Oh, quick, come with me. Such trouble, right?" So you go back and forth with diplomacy. You got any role play for me? He's asking about gardening. He's doing the base level, hints if you know of the network as opposed to what your ranking is in said network. It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. Sorry, Joe.
Sometimes when you've found a bush that you've got to take care of, you've got to take it along certain paths, guide it, and then eventually get it to the right plot of land so it can grow with the nutrients that it needs.
He blinks. He leans, waits for a minute when he thinks no one is listening, or he also switches to the Halfling language. Does anyone speak Halfling besides obvious hairy feet people? Anyone? Anyone with an earshot speaking Halfling? No? Okay.
Nope.
Then I'll skip the perception roll. He leans in a Halfling stage whisper and say, I'm new to the order. I am so sorry, sir. But this is Desna's doing. This is fortunate. That you're here and that you've won the day, and please, anyway, so he talks about legit people in the network that are in danger, and because of him, he might have put part of your network in more danger. He seems legit. Okay. Now, switching to Lerb. I'll even be so kind. Okay, so Matt, you finished your, Mr. Sorcerer, you finished your spell crafts. If
Yep.
you want to join in with Niles on the pliers and toenail clipping of convincing Lurb that he needs to talk or tell us more. About what? Like, what would your questions be for a tried member?
I'd want to know if there are any other, if there's anybody who's on their way back, any missing members of their group here, and also would want to know who they sent out with the information from the halfling. Because I mean, if we killed everybody and they didn't get a chance to report, the urgency suddenly disappears, right? Then I could apply some +2 potency runes. You know what I'm saying?
He gets a wicked grin and he says, "You should have listened to the lad right off instead of searching our warehouse and wondering about what kind of stones I might have had hid. I'm sure by about now that those places that your lad's talking about have already been raided. He's right. The Bellflower network is in great peril." Big teethy, and he's already bleeding from the hits and stuff that you guys gave him, like in combat. He's roughed up, you know. I don't need to tell you anything. It's all true. And it's too late. I bet by now. Miros.
Hey.
Glug Glug's got you standing guard in a hallway, 25 feet tall, shelves. It's warehouse storage. He's disappeared into an office while you're keeping one eye on him because he just.
Oh, wait. Your phrasing is entirely mistaken.
What?
Glug Glug doesn't have me guarding. I'm guarding with Glug Glug. I am guarding the Glug Glug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a perimeter check and then he called you in to guard his 6 while he checked out a room, but you've been
He checked the
posted up
perimeter,
in a
then
door.
I checked his perimeter. Let's be clear about this here.
So you want to be right on his posterior? How many
He's
P
totally
words
looking
can we...
He's totally looking at his butt, man. He's totally looking at his
Hey,
butt.
Muros, once you've gotten a good sniff or two, why don't you head back over there and check the back?
Done.
Ribbit.
You had my consent.
Just so we're all clear.
As I'd said earlier, we turned up some rune stones that Al's going to be able to mass produce under our weapons. The halfling is tragically frantic about his Bellflower network friends being exposed, and there's probably triad raids. And we're just interrogating our new triad friend, and he confirms this, that it's probably already too late for you guys. Glug Glug returning to you, mumbling about someone named Yuri. And that brings us all up to speed.
Yep.
Camino, yeah. What do you guys want to do now?
He's worrying about stones. Meanwhile, I make stones for breakfast. You got the stones, lad.
I guess re-gag this guy. Would we report this dude to, like, the city guard? Like, I don't know what the Triad's influence is with the people here in town.
They're trying to fly under the radar.
Can we just like take a wet sock and shove it in his mouth and use that?
You know what? We can pawn this off on the shopkeeper. We can just securely tie this guy up. And
The shopkeeper that's in bed with them. You went to all the trouble of tying her up to make her look innocent, but then he's like, and he's your problem if she turns him in. That kind of, sets her up for
that's true.
Triad wrath, right?
That is true.
Is there a cliff he can fall down?
There's
no, but I think
there's a bunch of water. There's a wharf right here. Look at this. Look at these big doors that open out to the ocean. Look at that. Look at.
Oh yeah,
I
there's dark
appreciate
side
that
points
for
in this
enabling
system.
me.
Well, how long is a coup de grace? It's full round action, right?
I
Honestly,
better
I'm
be in the
distracted
other
soon.
room cleaning.
He is in the other room. I'm like, okay, cool. So this is important. We should probably rush. All right, thank you, Slit.
I need to know. I really want to know whether or not I see any of that.
Actually, no. I would totally defer to Karam.
I had placed you back next to Miro. Sorry, man. You can see it.
So, wee one. should I dispose of our guest here? What's the plan? I think we need to be in a hurry.
Can we call the
Stopping
city guard?
tragedy and all that.
You were right about the city guard. If we turn them over, then they could question them and fight, expose the triad. I think they've been flying under the radar. The Bellflower Network we weren't even sure that they were operating here. I mean, we had our suspicions, but to find this, and then I got captured. My bad. He starts babbling on that like,
Oh, we can ditch it onto the halfling.
Boom.
All right.
How
Tie
about
up our prisoner and let the halfling call a guard.
there's a bunch of crates here. Why don't we tie him up, toss him in a crate, nail it shut, and then let the halfling contact the cops or something?
I mean, that
Yeah.
sounds like work.
Yeah, I'm happy to contribute to that
That's
effort.
why we delegate it.
just so we're sure, this 5-party 1-minute action, we've burned 40 minutes on runestones and searching and name. Though I gotta
I
say
don't
though,
even feel bad for showing up late now all of a sudden.
you came at the important part when decisions need to be made.
Yeah, who's sniffing whose butt?
I'm just saying, those large warehouse receiving doors that go right onto docks, just kind of, they were secure, but they kind of blow open in the wind. There's a whole bunch of ocean there. Just saying.
Albrecht, you say.
I was like, a whole lot of ocean and a whole lot of problem solving.
Yep. Triad style, right? I mean, you open a box, you think it's empty, and there's cement mix in it. I'm just saying.
How did their fit? But they're
You-
little
you're-
feet holes.
You do for their own custom shoesies.
Ropes and chains with weights already attached. Well, this is convenient.
For the record, Albrecht is not opposed to this idea in any way, shape, or form. But again, he's going to defer to the halfling because
Yeah, sorry.
Good call.
bad.
Good call. Good call.
Sorry.
So-
I'm really making this hard
I'll-
for Drew enabling these guys.
I know.
I need an
I wanna
archetype,
option-
Jeff. He says, I said, be a bellflower guy. It writes into the story. And now he's looking at me like, why are you sabotaging my archetype?
It's like on one hand I have the ocean, the other hand I have moral ambiguity. The fuck?
Yeah.
So I think what I'll tell him is, let me and Hundi take him out to the back, tie him up,
yes,
and then
yes.
he'll contact the police.
Oh,
But what I'll do is I'll kill him.
But what?
yes.
Okay, so Hundi and Lub are sitting right there listening to this conversation. You can see the mini placement, right? Like they're both looking at it, like the good guy, NPC, the bad guy, look at each other like, are you hearing this?
As long as you
Right.
don't actually say that out. Do you say that out loud? Or you're just
Blurb is
telling
trying-
the DM that?
I will only say that I'll take him out back so that Hundi can go contact the police. But when we get out there, that's when I'll change my action and just end him.
I cannot know anything
I
about
didn't
you.
know that.
Oh my God, he's
Fucking
trying
careful.
to escape.
Okay, just so we're clear, okay, you
Stop
guys
resisting.
will get full XP. The man is defeated. Okay,
And we get extra
turning-
XP. 'cause
turning him
execution,
over
right?
to the police or to the guard may benefit Kintargo in the long run because they have a triad member that they can interrogate at their leisure.
Wait, okay. I'm gonna do a save load slum here move.
Okay.
What one gives me the extra 100 XP?
You guys are talking about like what would slow you down. Deciding on how to kill him efficiently.
Not slow me
and
down.
Morality is slowing you guys
I
down.
want XP. I want
Yeah,
XP efficiency per run.
All right.
Already?
So
just
while
have to
these
make a
guys are
quick-
deciding what to do in the interest of keeping time moving forward, I will
Okay.
go out to the front area where we tied up the cheeky boo,
Yuki.
however I can get there, and I will untie her, inform her that she no longer has any rats in her warehouse. Or
Okay.
there's one rat, but it's currently captured.
Okay.
And I will slip her my business card, and
Well,
and tell her that I'll be back, and hopefully we can enter into a wee bit of a trading agreement. I save you a warehouse here, a nice, lovely storefront. some very spicy concoctions.
You've handed her a small piece of paper that is firm and rigid with a bunch of condensed information on it. She is amazed. What is this? Business
Yep.
cards don't exist yet, so this is fabulous.
Well,
She's
they do
scribbling.
now, baby.
It's just his clan symbol. He just expects them to know who he is, how to contact said clan. It's just his clan symbol on a card. He made a etching off of his dagger. But hey, it's baby steps, right? In the business world. All right.
And just say, I trust in the future our business dealings will be favorable.
You mentioned that you were important in dwarven lands and you had holdings or whatever. What sort of product are we talking about that I could hold for you and distribute in Cantargo?
Oh, our main unit of export is fine dwarven spirits.
Okay. She gives you information about channels of how to contact her through her estate or her butler and this type of thing, but she seems interested in at least discussing it further in the future.
Perfect. Unfortunately, I'm in a wee bit of a hurry. We got some troubling information that we've got to act upon.
Still, I'm not safe from the Triad. They know where I live. I'm going to have to go underground. And if I'm to keep the warehouse afloat, I do have to ask you for a business loan or deposit. I want to make sure that that the city or the Triad haven't sold or taken lease of this property so that you and I can both benefit from it in the future while I fleece this player for as much gold on the spot as humanly NPC possible. Could you do a businesswoman a favor?
Oh, I've got not much in the way of liquid funds on me, but I can...
We are talking about extra XP and hero points here, man. I'm just saying,
I can...
You can sign
I can help you out with this. And I reach into my pocket and I pull out my 2 black fire opals.
Oh, sweet.
And set them down on the counter.
Okay.
This should be able to... This should give you a bit of help getting yourself hidden for a while and cover your rent for a month or 2.
Okay. She scoops them subtly off the table. Because this was my and the GM's idea, not yours, no hero point, but you'll definitely give the party extra XP.
All right.
There's always that.
Goodbye, fire opals.
Yeah.
It would. It was a pair
knocked
of
on
them,
that
right?
magical harp and it started playing or something when you did that.
It starts playing Diablo themes. You're like, no, stop that. Stop. We're trying to get copyrighted here.
I actually dug up some interesting mandolin music that constantly changed with the mood of you guys interrogating, and when you got all mafia, I switched it. It's like you listen back to the episode. There's actually some interesting Mandalorian mandolin music. Damn it, Joe!
Mandalorian
Stop it!
mandolin music.
Just stop.
music.
All right, we're not playing Star Wars, Joe. Stop bringing up poor guy, man. He wants to play so bad. Did we mention how we finally had a grappling fight without you being the grappler? Did you hear about that?
No, I
Oh, but I also saw a photo of Merrick. Okay, sorry, respond to the emails. I'm like, I seen Merrick's mom.
Merrick's mom. Oh, talking about Chris.
Nice.
I mean, Mommy Merrick.
Okay, you know what? We'll definitely bring that up in Star Wars because said fan, everything are going to miss it. Somebody the only ones that can understand what we're talking about right now is Gamma. Right?
This one's for you, Gamma.
I have people.
They're all for Gamma.
I have
That's
fans saying we have fans that say I listen to this show. I don't think I have more than 1 or 2 that say I listen to everything you guys do.
Listens to both. Yeah, Explosion definitely listens to both.
There we go.
And
And Explosion.
And shout out to our patrons. Go ahead.
I'd like to spend time emptying out one of the crates to put our prisoner into, as I'm suddenly very concerned about making sure that he's well taken care of and safe while...
Wait a minute, you didn't hear us talking about that, though.
I'm willing... So...
No meta.
I'm back at you with meta too. So Doug sat here for 20 minutes while you all talked about murdering him, but supposedly keeping it a secret, which is fine. But and Doug is willing to let y'all get away with that, but I need to know that I'm not committing anathema to letting y'all just secret. You know, are you guys?
I'm assuming you took the 20 minutes to search the office, though, right?
I mean,
that's fair.
we need.
And if you give me the
Okay.
I'll just
He's given us a way out.
On paper, what's happening is we're taking him out back, leaving him with the halfling to turn over to the authorities.
Great,
On
thank you.
paper,
Yep, no,
that is
don't
what's
say
happening.
Anything else?
Yep.
Yeah, that,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All
What
right.
Karam does to him in the back, out of eye shot.
What?
I'm
Maybe give him a $5, Karam.
No, you know what? I put a pillow in the box.
Okay. Yes.
What's the song in Reservoir Dogs when he's got the guy in the chair and he starts dancing with the razor like that? That's Karam. This is what we're picturing. Going. I don't.
Oh,
I'm pretty
that
sure that's
was
a
the
major-
only thing he was dancing with. He was also
Yeah.
dancing with, Exponential. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, he's got his ear in his hand. So anyway, finally ready to dash off to save members of the
Yeah, we should
Flower
dash.
Network.
We should dash.
We should dash.
I'm going to dash at their speed because I'm surrounded by a bunch of slowpokes.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean,
walk.
you could carry me.
Okay, one, yeah. I can carry two.
One of those the Asian
Shit, I could
gondola
actually
runner
be- oh
guys.
my
They got
God.
the cart with the wheels.
Ah, what's the thing in Avatar? The thing that flies. The mount.
The air bison?
I never watched it, so I don't know. The big, like,
I
cow.
saw it in the trailer.
Oh my. Imagine I've only seen M. Night Shyamalan's version of Avatar. Now help me.
I do have another piece of information now that we're on our way and Hundy's taking us, or even during Karam's diplomacy. He talks about the Scarlet Triad agent that's in Kintargo. They're all under the command of a very scary female. What's the new name for Noel? Kulfo? Very scary female calculating
Colo.
Colo named Laslan. Just seeing her was enough to make him deeply fearful. And she had a Kalashite man, a spellcaster of some sort, who seemed to be her second in command, although he didn't catch his name. Anyway, one of the places he's worried about is Kite Hill. Karam, you know that Kite Hill is a lovely park, a beautiful hill in Kintargo. Why, let's all go to the map of Kintargo, shall we? Let's all go to Kintargo. There we go. Pulling up the old map again here. And
Get there faster, and then we'll take it slow.
I don't see it. Where's Kite Hill?
That's where we want to go. Way down to Kintargo.
Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't suppose you looked at those Cheers lyrics I sent you.
I did look at them.
All 7 of them.
My
you
wife
got
and I
them
spent
there.
an afternoon chuckling and editing those lyrics.
great.
Thank you very much.
No, they were great.
Okay, thank you.
You were on a roll.
I think his tone hints that he's not going to drop, over to his dad's band and go, "We got to record this right now." No, order 66 days. Jeff's new song's out.
Well, we
It's fun.
that would be a 6-minute song. We can pick the best ones, trim it down.
What?
Well, you did like 5 verses of that song, didn't you? So
I pulled up the original Cheer song, which has been severely edited for the show, by the way.
I don't see
Once
Kite
again-
Hill.
once again,
crossing the streams with a.
Oh, I
a
do
different
see Kite Hill.
podcast.
We're heading out to the wilderness, fellas.
Are we?
Yeah. So
Oh.
outside the walls.
Hey!
Now, remembering where we are here, I'll give you guys a little ping. You guys are down Sunset Imports number 7 here. Right? So you guys are down
Imports
here.
number 7.
Oh, did you put the legend back
related
up?
to
Yeah, he threw up the marked map,
I gotta go.
thankfully. But yes, we are there. What time of day is it after all of this
It
shenanigans?
was night. We went down here at nighttime, remember?
Oh. Ew. Okay.
And then like the sun was coming up. So by this time it was evening, and then we're getting into like the next day. Either that or it was early morning, and then this is like afternoon. Anyway, we got to jet out to Kite Hill. And Karam, you know that Kite Hill not only is like a massive gathering place for people wealthy and cheap, and in all the Disney Mary Poppins movie, they're handing out balloons and stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's kite vendors that have all kinds of kites, and they let you try them for free, or they sell them to you. What people don't know is the Bellflower Network use these colorful kites to send messages across the city. And this is why this is why Hundi wants us to desperately get to Kite Hill, because then we can contact the Bellflower Network and they can warn several locations and safe houses, because we're not sure exactly what and where they're going to hit. They seem to know more about what I already told them that, you know what I mean? They might know, I might have been like the last 2 locations. They might have them all. I don't know. I go out to Kite Hill and put the
Right.
word out.
Yeah, that sounds
So-
like the most important spot to go.
Right.
Yep.
So we are dashing 1, 2, 3,
Hustle bustle.
4 city blocks, then a 5th city block through the new market, through those gates that we came in. Showing ID. Thank you enough that Hundi and Karam are with us to kind of get us in and out quickly, and hustle our way over to Kite Hill. It is a very public venue, and there's a kite flying event currently there today. Wonderful.
Go fly a kite up where the air is bright. Let's go fly a kite in the air.
There
Chitty
actually
chitty bang
is.
bang?
There actually is a halfling running a kite booth that Hundi and Karam go directly for, and singing Doug's song, "Let's Go Fly a Kite," to a bunch of kids and handing them out to the poor and rich alike and making a profit on the side, is a blonde, cheerful, middle-aged halfling who goes by the name Nolly Peltry. And if you don't know Molly Peltry, she is a very important NPC from the Hell's Rebel campaign. And I'll let you look that up, and we will see you all next time.
Kill her. No.